You'll never guess what company was rated the biggest ripoff in America. Guess what? It's Disney. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and I am joined today by Mr. Culture, Casino Culture. How you doing, man?
Fantastic! It's been a great day so far, and we can have a little bit of a laugh today.
Well, yes, it's tragic, but also it kind of speaks to something that we've been talking about here on this channel. This out of casino.org, the world's online gaming authority since 1995. I'm an old man, so that feels like it was about 25 years ago. Is it 25 years ago? It's only 25, yeah.
I don't know. I was already done with college. It doesn't matter.
Yep. America's biggest ripoffs, according to TripAdvisor, reviews and survey. Well, we're hiding the headline a little bit here. Bamboozled, beguiled, and swindled. Sometimes it's the only way of describing experiences that were certainly less than we bargained for. The allure of as seen on TV and an influencer's point of view of travel can leave us disappointed when we realize we didn't get our money, time, or both worth. Buyer beware as we're unpacking some of the biggest ripoffs of all time, from Universal woes. No, Universal's not the right word here. Not so national treasures, and even every state's scam. They've gone through Google Trends and TripAdvisor to determine the top ripoffs people were talking about at national, state, and local levels. So this is based off of social media commentary. From there, we use the top lists to survey 5,000 participants. So there is some form of surveying here. And from the findings, we were able to separate the downright deceptions from the attractions worth the money. No shock, Disney World ranks as the #1 biggest U.S. tourist attraction ripoff.
Wow. I told you it was worth a laugh.
I mean, my goodness. Of course they are. First of all, they've raised in price. There was an excellent video from Bright Suns Entertainment.
Yes.
That talks about the fact that a standard Disney vacation has raised in price by 40% just in a few years. I'm not talking 10 years. We're not talking 15 years. We're not talking about 1989 sending 6 people to those parks for under $200, $400 by today's standard, by the way. That same trip easily $2,000 to $3,000 now. We're talking about the fact that in 4 years, a similar vacation, staying one night in the park, trying to get transportation to the park, and some basic amenities during the day for just 2 people, has raised by 40%. It's an excellent video. I'll try to remember to link it down below. And of course, I think it's fair too. So top ripoffs we can all agree on: college textbooks, not a question. Credit scores, movie theater snacks, but here we go. Following the TripAdvisor results for the top 10 U.S. attractions, we asked participants to rank what they thought was the biggest to least ripoffs according to their experiences. 60% of respondents concluded that Disney World is the biggest ripoff for U.S. attractions. The happiest place on earth turns out to be the most scammy place on earth, too, as this top attraction ranks as #1 for ripoffs, starting at $109 per person for the most basic ticket. Whoa, where are they getting 109? Isn't it a lot more than that now?
Yeah, I think it is. It's like, I think that might have been the cheapest day because of the surge pricing or whatever they're calling it.
I guess I see what you're saying. I mean, they did run a like a $70 if you bought like 5 and within a very certain period, and also you had to show up at a very specific period, and you already had to be a Florida resident. By the way, as I often like to point out, the happiest place on earth, that would be the Magic Kingdom over the Magic Kingdom Park at Disneyland. Whereas the most magical place on earth is Magic Kingdom at Disney World. Just a small bit of Disney lore there. We start to see here why Disney makes the top ripoffs. Thanks, ciao, Mickey Mouse. This is really no shock at all to us, because this is something that we talk about all the time. The idea of every person being able to go to a Disney park and leaving saying, man, I want to go do that again. I think the only way that you can do that now is by putting it on a credit card, so you're not thinking about it until you get home and you look at your statement balance. Culture. Is this propaganda here? Is this an accurate take? Is this something that the Disney company needs to actively fight against?
Well, I mean, propaganda would mean that it was untrue. Everything that they said was true. And if you have a large enough sample size, like they suggest that they have, then I don't know that you can argue with it. The wonderful video that you pointed out by Bright Sons, they did a great job of that, breaking it down. The cost of going on this vacation is incredible, and the question of whether or not you received the value you expected, I think that's why you see so much misbehavior in the parks these days, and in general. It look at this video, 1.1 million views, just
In 5
brilliantly done.
days.
Yeah,
Yes,
just
and I would say that this is a person that I think has a lot of patience.
yeah,
This is not someone who talks about Disney's problems all the time.
no,
This is a and I had already been watching some of Bright Sun's before this video came out,
me too.
and some of the conversions of recent resorts done by the Walt Disney Company, and the fact that they even have DVC lounges, not DVC lounges, DVC suites, whatever they call their DVC rooms here.
Mhm.
That some of them have Murphy beds in them, and not even a hot plate in them, which I would assume that some kind of
Oh,
ability to cook is often included in a DVC
yeah,
resort.
I think they're referring to the Riviera, which is
Yes,
one of the newest projects. But regardless, the thing is that they are correct. Whether or not you've seen this video or not, I'm just going to explain that you receive far less for your dollars than you used to. A lot of this is because of remodels and things like that Jonas was referring to, where you don't get to and from the airport travel anymore. That's not complimentary. You don't get certain privileges that used to come along with uh, being a guest at one of their resort rooms
right.
specifically. And you've
There's a
had a reduction in those values because it used to be when you stayed on property that you had not just before the day magic hours you had that were extensive 2 to 3 hours ahead of time, or after. It was either a couple hours ahead or 3 hours after on any given day. Magic hours were at multiple parks, and now you do not enjoy those benefits. The benefits of these trips back then, they outweighed the cost that you were supposedly spending.
right.
Now, I mean, there are very few benefits, and back to the rooms real quickly, they are reducing the value of the rooms by removing the uniqueness that used to come along with every stay. Lots of things are being downgraded.
Right, and there's an excellent video that is, and we cannot show it here because it is full of Disney music, where
Yes.
they had a cast member that an amazing song and dance where they go through all of the things they say, and it's all on us. Magic, extra magic hours, the magical express. That
Okay.
word magic is being eroded so much, just like the name Disney itself is being eroded.
Eroded.
Yes, this is you really need to see it, because you would think it's a 30-second commercial and they just list a few things. No, it goes on for 3 minutes of amazing production value, talking about all the free things that you get on Disney if you go to a Disney resort. It is it's such an amazing contrast to what they are today, which is a company that nickels and dimes people and sections off large portions of the park because they want to charge people more for the good seats when it comes to fireworks viewing. They are raising prices on food and, in my opinion, not raising quality on food in any way. And their movies are diminishing in quality, and I don't see theater prices going in that direction. Now, of course, that's the theaters, not the parks themselves. The rising cost and the diminishing value of a Disney vacation. There was, for a very long time, a statement that, oh, Disney was worth it because it's that once in a lifetime vacation. And I'll put this on Bob Chapek. Bob Chapek was the one, when he was in charge of parks and resorts, that continually raised prices and took away perks and ran a long experiment to see just how high you could jack up those prices. Well, with all that goodwill gone, it seems like they have gone past that limit. Culture, is there anything that we're missing here before we finish up this video?
Only that we probably should mention that one of the reasons that it feels more scammy to go to Disney World than ever before is that not only do you pay a everything all at once ticket price at the front gate at the turnstile, not only are you paying that, but now you have to pay for additional tickets to enjoy certain attractions, or otherwise you won't at all.
That's a very good point, and that is, of course, Genie Plus, which you now have to buy in order to get into the Lightning Lane, leaving the standby queues. On some days, the standby queue is empty, and the Lightning Lane line goes out to other sections of the park. Now, of course, there are some rides that you can't even get into, and you have to buy an individual Lightning Lane, or you can engage in a lottery service to see if you might be able to get a pass to get on Rise of the Resistance or whatever ride it is these days. But who cares what that ride is? They have created a system of haves and have-nots within the Walt Disney Park, and that's just not fun. It feels scummy, and I don't like it. I don't like the idea that I can unlock a better experience that on that basic level than anyone else by just giving more money to the Walt Disney Company. Now, that being said, there is a place for maybe that top 1% if you want a special vista or whatever as part of your dining package, but it doesn't need to be so apparent. It doesn't need to be 25 to 50% of the viewing experience, and it needs to be discreet. Seeing someone with a plaid skirt or a plaid vest go by, okay, maybe that's aspirational there. Maybe we can do that someday. I'm talking about the VIP tour guides who
Yes.
I'm sure do fantastic work, but again, is for less than 1% of all guests coming into a Walt
Yes.
Disney World park. I'm gonna stop ranting here. Culture, is there anything else we need to say?
Not at all. And again, I'm in full agreement. This may be one of the worst values in entertainment that you can consume now. Will it change? I don't know.
Much
But
agreed. Of course, we want to throw this to our commenters here. What do you think about all of this? Are we ranting for nothing? Are we just poor? Because we get that one a lot when we complain about not wanting to give Disney money for nothing. Of course, share this out if you know someone who wants to hear about this topic. If maybe they haven't had their eyes opened to just how much things cost over there at Walt Disney World, or consider subscribing to That Park Place, or consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.